All right, charging on a EA DC fast charger 350 kilowatt unit, currently at 29% or 29 miles of range and 14%. So charging has started, so it's ramping up. So you can see here it's ramping up quite nicely, and I will be charging to 80%. So it looks like it kind of stalled out about 72 kilowatts right now. I do have like a GV70 or 60 here. Then I have it looks like a Hyundai Ioniq 6 over there in another stall. So I think these are all dedicated units. I have a 350 dedicated unit. I don't know if they do any load sharing between the different chargers. But right now it's slowly ramping up. It started off about 73 kilowatts. Now it's up to 78. So this last time I drove for 136.3 miles, getting 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour. So again, with the temperatures, running the heat drains the battery. So hopefully as we get into the springtime, my range improves quite a bit, but right now I'm only getting about 2.9 to 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So on average, on a 800 volt system here on this DC fast charger, the guessometer is saying about 190 miles per range. That is because my average miles per kilowatt hour is slightly higher than it has been before. Before, when it was really cold, I was getting about 2.6, 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So my average at 80% has been about 180 to 186. So we're doing slightly better because of the warm temperatures and less climate. So it looks like it's kind of stalled out here at 78 kilowatts, and then we'll come back online when it gets a little higher. All right, we just had a big spike in kilowatt, went up from 78, 79% to 127. Hopefully it continues to ramp up from there. Currently at 25% state of charge, but now it's looking at 21 minutes to get to 80. So hopefully we can get some more kilowatts out of this thing. Right now it just spiked up to 127, and hopefully I'm not load sharing with this GV60. There's nobody in the car. I don't know where they're at state of charge, but again, it just jumped up to about 127. The max I've ever peaked out at this new EA station is about 150, 157. So hopefully I can get some more out of this. So it looks like we are again hit another plateau around 129 to 130 kilowatts. So we'll see what happens here if we have another big spike. So it looks like we had another big spike. I did jump up to about 200 kilowatts. Then it just dropped back down to 152. I'm not too sure why that did that. But I did spike up to 200 kilowatts. Now I'm back down to 152. So we'll see what happens here if we get another spike back up there. So it looks like I peaked out at 200 kilowatts. It was only for a couple seconds, and it dropped dramatically back down to 153. I don't know if the car is derating it or if the machine is derating it, but something's limiting it to 153 kilowatts. Again, I saw a spike to 200. Now it's just sitting about 150 to 153. So we just had a Ioniq 5 pull in and plug in. So you can see I was like 150, 155. And right now I'm at 56% state of charge, 10 more minutes to get to 80. So it's starting to taper down. I was doing 155 again. I peaked at 200. Then it dramatically dropped back down to 150, 155. Currently sitting about 130. I did have a Ioniq 5 pull in, plug in, 2 stalls down. I don't know if that's affecting the overall speed, but it'll just drop down from 153 down to 130, and we'll see if it stays right there. So we got about 2 minutes left, and it's still pulling in about 135 kilowatt hours. So as soon as the Ioniq 5 plugged in, it dropped from 150 down to 135. It's picked back up to 150 down to 130. Now it's back up to 135. 2 minutes left, sitting at 77% state of charge, and then looking at 183 miles of range. So it's actually still pulling in about 133. You can see now it's starting to taper down. As we get to 78%, you can see it's starting to slow down as we get closer to the 80%. And that's it. We're at 80% shut off. And now we are done. All right, so we finished charging at a DC fast charger. So far I'm at 80%. I got 191 miles of range. So again, DC fast charger, charged up to 80%. Took in 53.26 or 27 kilowatt hours back into the battery. Started off at 14%, went to 79%, 80% state of charge. So far, this was probably my most expensive that I've charged on my own out in the field. You're looking at total energy delivered. 53 cost me $29.79 at 56 cents per kilowatt hour. Then we add in our taxes, and the total was $31.21 to add and back up to 191 miles. So again, this is probably my most expensive one. And it looks like I peaked at my max charge speed was 154. I did see a peak of 200, but then it quickly went down to 154 kilowatt hours or kilowatts back into the battery. Again, this was a 350 kilowatt DC fast charger, but again, the only thing I could pull in was 154. I did see it spike up to 200, but it quickly came back down to 154. Either, I don't know if that's my car or the DC fast charger, the EA system itself. But other than that, this is probably the most expensive that I've spent so far charging my vehicle. Again, $31.21 to charge from 14% to 80%.